In the old days, before the river lost its voice and the hills grew silent, there was a small village called Ngele. It sat on the bend of a slow, silver river where the moonlight lingered longer than anywhere else. Among the villagers lived Nia, a young woman whose hands were gifted by the spirits of her ancestors. Her mother had taught her to weave at the age of 6, but by 16 Nia's cloth was unlike any other, soft as river foam, bright as the first sunrise after the rains. The elders said she wove not just threads, but feelings. Joy, longing, even sorrow seemed to live in her fabric. Nia worked each day beneath the shade of a great baobab tree near the riverbank. At night, when the crickets sang and the moon rose full and round, she would stay to finish her weaving by moonlight. The villagers often teased her. "You weave as if you're waiting for someone who only walks by night." She would smile and say nothing. Truth was, Nia felt that the river and the moon washed over her, and sometimes she heard a soft humming carried by the breeze, a voice she could never quite place. One night, the moon was so bright that the river looked like a silver road stretching far beyond the horizon. As Nia wove, she saw a figure approaching along the riverbank. He was tall, wrapped in a dark indigo cloak, his hair tied back simply. The moonlight caught his face as he drew closer, and she noticed his eyes, calm but distant, like someone who carried the weight of stories untold. "Good evening," he said, his voice low and warm, almost blending with the rush of water. "I've watched you weave for many nights from across the river. I hope you don't mind." Nia's heart gave a startled flutter, though she kept her voice steady. "You should know it's rude to watch a woman at work without greeting her," she teased lightly. He laughed softly, a sound that made the night air feel less lonely. "Then let me greet you properly now. I'm Adama, a traveler. I pass through these lands under the moon because the day is not my friend." She studied him curiously. "You travel only by night?" Adama nodded but said no more. His silence made her curious, yet something about his presence felt as gentle as the moonlight itself. For many nights after, Adama returned. Sometimes he brought stories of the lands he claimed to have crossed, deserts where the wind sang, mountains that glowed red at dawn. Sometimes he simply sat by the river as she walked, listening to the steady rhythm of her loom. The villagers began to whisper about the stranger, but Nia kept meeting him, drawn to the way he listened to her as though her words truly mattered. One evening, as the river reflected a crescent moon, Adama asked quietly, "If you could weave one wish into your cloth, what would it be?" Nia thought for a long moment before answering. "I'd weave a promise that whoever wears it will never be alone." He smiled at her answer, but the smile didn't quite reach his eyes. The moon climbed higher, silvering the river and their faces, and for the first time Nia noticed that Adama's shadow did not fall as sharply on the ground as hers did.